Welcome to another Motortown post-event race commentary. Today we got the Dirty Duel, another TWL event, another one that I organized, and yeah, it's about either the N4 GT or the Neo. Basically a duel between the two on off-road tracks and using the 320 horsepower V8, so very strong engines, very fast and a lot of fun usually just whipping the stuff around the track, and we are going to see how this one goes. We have 6 people participating today, and yeah, we are about to get started on the first track over here. As per usual, A-ball is much better in reverse than in the regular direction, so we are going to be doing that. And I can already tell you guys, this one hasn't gone too well for me, partially because I took the wrong car for every single track, I think. The Info is a much better or much safer choice here because it's just very stable. While due to the lower weight, the Neo might be a bit faster, but it's also very unstable due to its short wheelbase and likely some other factors. I think my rally suspension setup here might also be a bit outdated. It didn't really do me any favor, and boom, made it into like the second or third turn and just got a lot of engine damage from that. So that's no good. And I'm just really having trouble getting control of the car. Got pushed out, and yeah, that's not too great either. So at this point, engine damage, decent radiator damage, which is sometimes even worse. And of course, body damage, but that doesn't really matter here. We are not going too fast, but I would like to at least have somewhat of a good race here. So this hasn't really gone too well. I think the Neo might be better on smoother tracks, but this one, it is kind of rough. So yeah, I'm trying to whip it around the hairpin here, but it just doesn't really do much for me. And yeah, the jumping here should be a bit better due to the higher suspension, but it just doesn't work out too well. So I had an idea at this point, and we are going to see how that goes. I wanted to go out into the pit lane here, but for some reason the car just went into a drift and almost prevented me from doing so. So we are going in here now, and we are just switching out for the N4. I noticed how things went the first lap, and I didn't want them to continue like that. So we are going into the second lap in last position. And we are going to try and have a better race here at least. This is another one of those events where I really didn't do any practice or so right before it. I had a few laps around here a few days before, but yeah, I should have done something on the event day and just I don't know what happened, but I really didn't have it in me at that point. This was also while the closed test was going on for the current update, so yeah, switching back and forth, that might have had something to do with that. I might have been playing another game, I don't remember. It's been a few weeks. But yeah, this one immediately feels so much better. Despite having less off-roady suspension setup, this thing is just going around the turns quite a bit better. I get the feeling that maybe we should have a closer look at the Neo at some point and do a save or scrap episode. See if I can retune it in a way that makes the whole thing a bit more enjoyable and drivable, or if I have to send it to Christine Gnome's gravel pit someday. I don't know why it whipped around like that. Once again, the day was just, this wasn't really for me. So it's not all the car. I know that the N4 at least is a pretty good choice here. But yeah, there was definitely also some part of me that didn't really do a great job here. But yeah, we are going to continue anyways. We might be able to catch back up to 4th, potentially, who knows. There's quite a gap between me and the Steerman, but we'll see. Not if I take more corners like that. I also gotta say, since I have off-road tires on the car, it's sometimes a bit more grippy than I would expect. I'm used to really going into drifts here, and that doesn't always work. It either grips and sends me right into the inside barrier, or ends up stalling out because, once again, it just has too much grip and doesn't do the drift as it should. Not really a problem though, it's just something that I should really get used to and not try to drift around with grippy tires like that. Alright, 4th position. Going back around for another lap. This is the halfway point. Gotta be careful, almost put it into the rocky wall there. I don't think that would have been too great for me. I doubt it's gonna be a smooth experience. Once again, going too far to the inside, that's, yeah, down to the grippy tires and me not being used to them. Maybe for my driving style it would have been better to just go with road tires and see how that goes. But yeah, there are also quite a few corners that I would have likely not been able to take. So the question is, am I going for another pit stop at this point? Might be worth it, there are still a few more laps to go, and yeah, that didn't help. The thing is, these are immensely fun vehicles, especially off-roading with them, at least the info. Once again, with Neo I'm a bit more iffy, but I'm just really not having a great time here. Spoiler alert, the end of this event marked also the point where I said I need a bit of a timeout. Had a break week afterwards, so there wasn't an event on the weekend after. But yeah, I'm definitely going into the pit lane here. While I love that we have these opening and closing garage doors in the game, I really wish they would just stay open here. It's kinda annoying. At least you can only hit them on the way in and you are repairing anyways, but yeah, they kinda get in the way a little bit. So yeah, I'm back down in 5th position. Question is, can I catch back up once again, or is this going to be my final one? I mean, I could also be overtaken by Zolden in the end. That's also open depending on my driving style and how many more mistakes I make during the race. Yeah, drifting like that didn't really help too much. I lost a lot of speed there. And boop. That didn't go well. At least I didn't need to turn around again. It landed me in a pretty good orientation at least. But yeah, like this I'm not going to get back the 4th place anymore. The Steelman, on the other hand, is really getting close to Vormir there. That might be good for me if they slow each other down. I feel like in this race, at least with the info, I have good pace, but zero consistency. That's not usually how I like driving, but sometimes it just is what it is. Okay, first few people already finished. So I'm very far behind, but yeah, two major crashes with engine damage and repair attempts that will do that to you. I could have even gotten lapped at this point, wasn't too far away from that. I'm also not too far away from the Steelman anymore, but we are on the final lap, and yeah, I doubt this is gonna work out. It might, especially if we manage to just spin out there. That would have been a good thing for me, but as it is, I might stay in 5th position. Yep. But hey, it was still an interesting race. The worst ones are the ones where nothing happens. Although maybe if there's just carnage going on all the time, it's also not too fun. But I think this one was still... It was okay. It wasn't like I got screwed over by anybody else. I was really doing the screwing for myself here. As I mentioned in the beginning, I really took the wrong car for every single race here. I mean, the N4, it's fine. It's a good car. Nothing against it. But if there was one track where I should have taken the Neo, or at least where the Neo would have been viable, it's the Quarry track. But yeah, we are getting started here in a moment. And there's going to be something a bit weird about this one, because the thing with tracks in this game is you always have to save them locally. And since the entire events are being hosted by Chess took his version from the track, or of the track, and yeah, he had an outdated one, so really the checkpoints should all be much wider still. I mean, they are already extended quite a bit compared to the regular ones, or the regular sizes here. I think the regular sizes are about half of what you are seeing here, so they are really tiny. But I at some point went back, and I went back quite a while ago to get these expanded a bit further even, so that you can basically just use the full size of a cliff everywhere. But as it is right now, yeah, they are all a bit smaller than they really should be. There's also this weird little rock there, which is not too great. Managed to avoid it this time around. But yeah, this was a bit irritating. I mean, I shouldn't really be using wider lines here than what we have with these checkpoints, but having the option to is usually a good thing. Getting overtaken by Chess over here. And I think on this end, this is where the checkpoints are really tiny. But yeah, this is fun. These are really nice and fast corners. There are a few tighter ones coming up as well. It's a nice mix. I still love this layout. I recently made another one for the Quarry, and I have plans for a third one, but right now I'm not really feeling like making more tracks. The checkpoint work can be kinda relaxing, but you really have to be in the mood for it, and I'm just not right now. Yeah, coming around here, really not the best approach for the turn. Should have cut in a bit more on the last one. And I think this might be where it finally dawns on me that the checkpoints are kinda wrong. I haven't done anything with this track in ages, so I didn't really remember how the checkpoints all look like, but once I noticed, then yeah, it became pretty obvious. And yeah, this is where I just completely missed that one. I don't know what I was really doing there. I'm trying to figure out which one to take to get back to that point, and yeah. I don't know if I outright removed this one in the final version or moved it in a different position, but that is a mighty awkward checkpoint to begin with. And yeah, almost just drove it off the cliff there. I don't know how the game decided to put me in this position and this way around, but sure. At this point the race is pretty much done anyways. We are coming back up to the end of the first lap over here. Just another hairpin to go, and that should be the finish line. And now there should just be another 2 laps to go, and that's gonna be the end here. I managed to put it on the side. That's just wow. Of course, facing the wrong direction, because why not? And that pretty much puts me in last place here. Or close to it. Apparently Zolden might not be able to overtake here. And I think the steerman, while he is in last position there on the leaderboard, I think he might have had a disconnect and just can't see the checkpoints. So he might just be racing along with somebody else and following their route. Okay, coming back around over here. I don't know why I go off the gas like that. I should have really pushed through a bit more. We can see a lot of the other people just on the upper ledge there. So they are quite a bit further ahead. I don't think I'll be catching up to anybody here anymore, especially with how I've been driving so far. Ooh, that was a close one. Could have easily missed that checkpoint. But yeah, the others are just consistently another ledge up from me. And we still have quite a bit to go before we can even get onto that point. Yeah, that didn't work out either. At least the reset wasn't too far away, so I didn't lose too much time, but yeah, stuff like that doesn't really work out in my favor. Meanwhile, I wish I had the point of view from the top 2 people there, because they are fighting for the lead. I'm more fighting for survival here. Got the checkpoint, going a bit wide here. Not too ideal, but also not too bad. And here we come back around to the end of the lap. Climbing up towards the start-finish line again. I love these turns in this direction, they are so much fun. Okay, final lap. Let's see what happens here. I I mean, first of all, I put it into the ditch, because why not? But yeah, I think next up, I know what's coming up. So, let's see. Coming around here again. Back down to the other ledge. Taking a nice cut here. And another cut in that corner, and there's a rock. Whee! Yeah, those were quite a few spins, quite a lot of damage, and me no likey. So that's full radiator damage, a good amount of engine damage to boot, and of course the chassis is just ready for a replacement. The only thing I can do now is limp back home to the finish line. Everything else is kinda done at this point. Solden is right behind me. I'm apparently electing a new pope considering the white smoke here. So it's just good things all around. Can see Ron Hull and chessboard up there. But yeah, I can't really do too much at this point. It's pretty much over. Zolden overtook me, and therefore I'm in last place. We can also see the steerman just jumping for some reason. I mean, this track is so fast. If you get everything right, it's also very dangerous at that point. And more overheating issues, I think at this point we might as well skip ahead a little bit. Maybe skip back even, because Solden for some reason got really close to me again, and I don't get why. I think he might be doing a little bit of a wall ride there, and the walls aren't always smooth enough for that. But yeah, I'm just semi-coasting at this point, trying to not overheat too much. Also taking a bit of a cut deep inside of that corner. Yeah, I don't know how I'm able to catch up to Zolden again here. It's weird. I might not be the only one with significant damage to my car. Really tight line on the last corner, but no chance. But hey, closer than I expected. Okay, now on to the last track, which is a cross-county track, so we're not really following roads here. You've seen that in the not really all that recent pickup truck and SUV race here. The checkpoints have been expanded a little bit, but this is really where it all goes very wrong. And this is another track which is decently rough, and I should have taken the info again, because this is what happens. I mean, nothing too bad yet. But yeah, I'm falling off a cliff, and if I reset, it has to be to a road, and well, I'm definitely in last place now with quite a bit to go. I mean, this isn't even all that bad. This is still salvageable. I don't know if I would make it up to another person, but I mean, could be. But yeah, the car just doesn't want to work for me here. So once again, I gotta check out if I can improve this thing. I know it's always gonna be a bit iffy, because that's just what the Neo handles like, but this might be way too crazy right now. and much worse when it really needs to be. So I'll try lowering it again. I think the matter of having like super soft and high suspension has kinda passed unless you're really going for harsh off-roading. And I don't know if I read that corner wrong or something, but yeah, I'm back down in the ditch and once again upside down, so I have to reset, and now I'm back in the quarry. So, back to the campy, which is near the starting line. Back into the info. I don't care what happens to the Neo at this point. They could as well nuke it. I don't mind. And now to the one thing that's definitely on my end. I tried to shortcut as much as possible to get back to the next checkpoint. I should have maybe stuck to the route because I'm about to do something very, very stupid here. Just you wait. Yeah, we are coming up to a lake and I thought, well, I mean, it was too late to brake anyways, and I thought I could maybe go through it. I couldn't. And you know what, at this point, there wasn't really a chance of doing anything here anymore. Can reset, can try again for the fourth time. Third time? I don't know. But yeah, at that point I decided to just DNF and left the server, decided to rethink my decisions a little bit, but here we are. Yeah, that was one event. Meant to be a really fun one, but honestly, at this point, I will definitely be rethinking doing cross-country stuff like that. The idea is nice, it opens up quite a few possibilities, but it's also pretty risky when you get pushed off a cliff. Or more like in this case, I didn't get pushed, I just drove off myself, but with how tight racing can be, you cannot always rule out stuff like that happening. So, yeah, I don't know. For this one, for me today, it didn't work out. Maybe another time, but maybe it's also better to just avoid stuff like that in the future. Unless we maybe go again with heavier cars, wider cars, that kind of thing. This one might not work out too well. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed despite my pitiful performance here. And until next one, have a good one and bye bye.